Hey, welcome to the Watch Later channel. So this is a space where I'm just posting the videos that I've found interesting online. They're just various videos from my playlist, liked videos, saved for later, and things like that. And I'm just sharing them with others because some of these videos I think are really interesting. And since the internet is so vast, you may not have seen them yet. These videos will change on a daily basis. The categories will change. And I'm just here just kind of as a guide just to show the videos. I do not own any of these videos, and all the videos will be linked and time-stamped below, and I highly recommend that you go check out some of these videos, or if you just want something new to kind of start popping up in your recommendation algorithms, this might be the space to find that type of content. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with this first video called Chasing 100. This video was uploaded by Adidas, and it's the incredible story of history's fastest ever 100-kilometer ultra marathon. And already ultra marathon is intimidating to me. That sounds kind of scary. And for those who need the conversion from kilometers to miles, that's about 62.5 miles, just shy of 62.5 miles. So that's about 6 hours. I think 6 hours of running is the record. 6 hours and 5 minutes, which was set in 2023. But this video here is the unofficial time of which comes in just shy of 6 hours. I think it's 5:59:20. So this is just kind of a cool mini documentary that I think some of you should check out.
Speed test track in Lecce, Italy, is a perfect 12.5-kilometer circle visible from space. 5 athletes will complete 8 loops of the circuit, guided by a team of escort vehicles in extreme heat, running in the middle of the night.
So for some of you who were wondering why earlier when I said the unofficial record, so I'm assuming that based off of what I could research, that there is official times for things that are done by certain organizations, and this doesn't necessarily count as the official time because of all of the support that is had in it and also the very specific conditions of the testing. But the interesting thing is that although there is all of this extra that is added in, it still doesn't take away from how much preparation and all the engineering and everything that goes in, science and research that goes into propelling these athletes to be able to push their limitations like they are.
Hello, nice to meet you. How are you? I've got a question. Why would anyone want to run 100 kilometers in under 6 hours?
Oh, I love it, man. Our relationship with pain, especially the type of pain when it comes to ultra running. The fatigue,
Man, I don't know about that.
The discomfort adds up, but it's not that bad. You just got to endure it for a long fucking time.
Yeah, to each their own. I'll watch it, but I could never run that long. But these people are in incredible shape, and it just kind of goes on to show the different athletes and some of the technology and things that they're being used. Like here, you see this ice vest being used. I think this is cool because they use this in a lot of racing, especially in Formula One, when they're dealing with these really hot temperatures in cars and things like that. And being able to keep your core temperature cool can help you perform better as an athlete. And so all of these things are why this doesn't count as the official record. Using these cooling vests and, having a shoe. I think what actually makes this not count, if I could skip ahead to it here, is the shoe that they are wearing. This shoe here, the angle of the heel, I think, is beyond the 40-degree limit that they have for the shoe to count. So it's too much of an advantage, I guess they're calling it. But again, I highly recommend watching this just because the way that this video is edited, just very cinematic, very creative, and the sound design and everything. And actually, I will mention the sound because I'm big on music. And there's a song here towards the end. There's a song that comes in here, and like at first I thought that this was the song Blue by Bicep, but it's not, at least to my knowledge. It might be a remix of it, but I'd really like to know the name of the song. So if you come across this video or you go check this video out, if you're able to identify the name of the song, please let me know. But this was a really interesting documentary. The athlete ended up running under about, again, 40 seconds shy of 6 hours. So brought it in just under the 6 hour mark. And to run that long, you would need to average about a 10-mile-an-hour pace. And for those who don't know, most treadmills in your gym max out at about 12 miles an hour. You can get some better treadmills that bump up to about 14 miles an hour. And then you can get self-propelled treadmills that will exceed that for almost 6 hours. That's always something that I think about when I watch those marathon runners. But anyway, this is a really nice little mini documentary. I wish this was longer, and I wish this could be a documentary series on Netflix or Amazon or something like this. But I'm going to go ahead and like this video, and please feel free to go check this video out. I'll put the link in the description below. Anyways, jump into the next video. So this video is called How a Rejected Mushroom Became an Icon, and this is uploaded by a creator called Sean Grows. And I've actually watched a few of his videos, and he's very straight to the point, very clear, very informative on what he is discussing. And also, just because the reason I say all that is because you come across so many videos and people just spend so much time trying to get to the point. He just straight up gets to the point, gives you the facts, and leaves it to where you can do your own research on things after that. But I found this video really informative.
One of the most iconic mushrooms on this planet was actually never supposed to be eaten. Portobello mushrooms used to be a waste product, something that farmers only used to feed their animals. They couldn't sell them because they were too big, and to many people they tasted funny because they were really just overgrown versions of the smaller white button mushroom. But in the 1980s, farmers wanted to give the waste product an Italian-sounding name, so they named it portobello.
Now that right there happens a lot. Earlier, what he said about it used to be a byproduct that was just or waste product that they just used to feed animals. That happens with a lot of things that we eat now, and also giving something I guess you could say Italian, European, or foreign name, as what some Americans would say. People often associate things from certain regions just with quality, but it's so easy to do. And in this case, like he said, this isn't even an Italian mushroom or an Italian name, but look how well it's been adopted. And similar things happen a lot with, things like olive oil that are imported. We often go through the olive oils and we'll push away the olive oil that may have been, pressed in, I don't know, Texas. And I'm just giving an example, Texas, but we'll gladly buy the one that's double the price that says it's imported from Italy that, actually has a far worse smell. I'm not saying any particular brand, but it has a more pungent odor, and it just doesn't really taste that good. So it's just interesting just to see, how people, once you give something a different name, a different title, a different backstory, how all of a sudden it's received and how people prefer it over something else. So I thought that's interesting.
Which translates to nothing. Farmers only use that name because it sounded European. The name is actually so un-Italian that even Italians don't even call it portobellos. They marketed it to chefs in high-end restaurants as a vegetarian alternative to steak. That's how portobellos became one of the most recognized mushrooms in the world, which is pretty insane. One of the most...
And again, I had no idea about this. I like to cook and I like to eat mushrooms and other foods, obviously. But what I like about mushrooms is the different textures and varieties and things like that. But I never would have known that. And for those who are curious, this was, I believe, in the 1980s that they decided that they needed to kind of market these mushrooms to sell because they weren't selling. And so that's where they adopted the name portobello mushroom, which again is exactly what he was saying in the video. So if you're interested in learning more about mushrooms and things like that, or just about, kind of healthy eating and living and things like that, I found that this guy does a good job of doing that and making that type of stuff interesting without, kind of just dragging on. So I like this video. I learned something new, and hope some of you did too. We're going to go ahead and jump to the next video. So this video is uploaded by my swimming coach, and this is called Mindfulness Water Treading. And for me personally, I still would like to know how to tread water, which is just kind of keeping yourself afloat and maintaining your height in the water and not sinking in water. I've never been able to do it, but watching videos like this kind of helps me get better at that, even though it's been a while since I've swam. But this is really important to know how to swim. I'm comfortable swimming, but I'm not comfortable trying to tread water. It's just something that I haven't been able to do. And this video kind of shows how to tread water, the different techniques too. So one thing to factor in these videos, although it's saying these things like body position, breathing, arms, legs, and kicking, things like that, these are all, of course, skills that you would probably need to kind of learn outside of the water prior. Because one thing that you have to factor in is that when you're in an uncomfortable environment, you'll more likely to enter a state of panic. And I think that's what keeps a lot of us from being able to master some of these things is we're just so worried about, drowning. So seeing stuff like this, it's nice to see someone that's so calm in the water, but the only way you get this calm is by being comfortable in the environment and spending more time doing this. So it's still nice to see because when you're in a pool and somebody's trying to tell you how to do this stuff, you can't see them really what they're doing very well from the above. You have to be in the water, or in this case, this nice side view. So I thought was a really useful video because it's short, it's to the point, it shows you what to do, what not to do, and these are things that can save people's lives because, for those who don't know, there's so many children, unfortunately, that fall in pools, and not just children, but adults, but mainly children that fall into pools that drown, and drowning deaths are a major cause of death in the United States, but also the world. So being able to swim is important. It could save your life, or it could save someone else's life. So I'm gonna go ahead and like this video because it's informative. And all these videos here too in these playlists, I also will create a playlist that way you can go through. So you'll see the date of a video that I posted, and then all the videos will be right behind that video. So that way, if you're interested in any of these and want to come back to them, you can come back and they'll all be organized in one organized space. So anyway, we're going to jump to the next video. So this is a video uploaded by TED. For those when you hear about TED Talks, this is just their YouTube channel called TED. And TED Talks are essentially people, experts coming in, experts or people who are just hobbyists in different things that come in and explain a little bit about what they're into, what they're working on, or things like that. And so this video is called Why the Wrong Side of the Tracks is Usually the East Side of Cities. And the presenter here is Stephen DeBerry. And I'm sorry, I might be butchering your name. I apologize. But this is his presentation. And essentially in this video is from some years ago. I think it looks like it's from 7 years ago. And as you see here, not that many eyes on this. I found the research that he did in this really interesting because it's talking about how on the east side, usually the east side of cities is usually kind of seen as the worst side. And, it was kind of the thought process of, well, why is that so? And where does that thinking come from? And he does the research to find that it really comes down to, long story short, the air currents. Years ago, when they were building factories and things like that, they found that the winds of the world, outside of the winds that you experience on your local level in cities and things like that, there's still the global winds that go around the world, and also with the that are impacted by tides and things like that and the rotations of the earth. But they found that the winds tend to constantly blow east, and east, of course, is not east, of course, but the direction of wind blowing is crucial, especially if you're living in an area where you're putting out a lot of pollutants, or there's a lot of smog, or back when they were first doing these designing and zonings of cities is when factories are pumping out all of this ash and dust and things like that. And if you had money, you didn't want to live in that. And or if you were divided economically, you would be forced, if you were poor, to live on the eastern side, so you're more likely to be in the wind of the smokestacks. But anyway, he obviously explains everything here. And again, like you said, this is not applicable in every city, but if you go to some of the major cities, in this case, he starts out talking about the Bay Area and East in Palo Alto and East Palo Alto and things like that. And for those who don't know, there's a highway that runs through, kind of punches through Silicon Valley, and there's East Palo Alto and there's just regular Palo Alto, and there's a visible difference when you go between the two, and that's also in a lot of cities when somebody says, oh, they're from the other side of tracks or the other side of town. You have to wonder where those things come from. And in this video, he explains. So I don't want to take away from all the research that was done in this video, nor do I want to do that with any of these videos. But I just want you to go watch the original video and leave your thoughts and opinions. And again, all these will be timestamped and linked. But this was a very educational video. I enjoyed it. And, opinions aside, you still just have to think about the design and the impact that choices that are made during these design processes, how they'll impact the world and how intentional they are. When people design things, it's with intention. Almost no one designs things without an intention. So you just have to wonder, what are the intentions behind someone's designs and how will they impact people for generations to come? I'm going to give this video a like, and I'm going to jump to the next video. So, like I said, I want to have a mix, humor and things like that as well. And this is a video uploaded by Matt Brassfield. And I don't know if he's the original uploader of this. This is just one of the better quality versions that I was able to find. But the video is called Home Depot, Where Doers Get More Done. And I'll go ahead and let this play.
I am absolutely speechless at this setup right now. I mean, I get being a DIYer, but on an avalanche, dude, you just built a whole ass apartment.
This is wild. There's an AC unit up here. It almost looks like this expands, like it's one of those slide outs. Well, not slide outs, but one of these right here, one of these truck campers. But to the person that built this, props to them. And I'm not. When I see stuff like this, I'm not looking down on anybody like this, because I just look at somebody who has skills, and although they might not have the money or the materials, maybe they have the money, but those are the materials they wanted to use. It still requires skill to craft something like that and to fit that on the body of a Chevy Avalanche, a little short bed Avalanche. This is incredible, but again, this is somebody who saw a problem and they came up with a solution.
Being a DIYer, but on an avalanche, dude, you just built a whole ass apartment? What the fuck?
I mean, this person has windows, I shouldn't joke, but it's like, this thing might have double pane windows on it. It's just, this is pretty interesting. And, hey, they do have their license plate mounted in the rear, so they shouldn't be harassed. A full-size door. This is at least sticking out at least like 4 feet, 5 feet off of the bed. This is a home. This is somebody's house, and they have an AC unit on this side. So two AC units, it looks like. This is one of those things that I would love to see the interior of, just because, again, the amount of time that went into this. But if you are in a situation where you don't have a home, but you have a vehicle, I mean, this person's doing what they have to do. At least that's my assumption. They might have done this just for fun. I don't know, but I would assume that, again, this is my assumption, that they're doing this because they have to. This is incredible. They have their gas hookup, their dual propane hookup. This is a home. It's a mobile home. So, props to them. And again, those who say, well, why don't you just buy, a camper for cheap? I mean, I personally haven't seen any go for under, 10,000. Maybe you can get them for 5,000, but that's a lot of money. That's arguably worth more than the vehicle and things like that. So people who are creative like this, keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you'll get to a point where you'll have everything you need to be able to build what you want. And so oftentimes I find that the people that have less are often way more creative than people who have money. A lot of people that I've encountered that have money, it just seems like there's a lot of tasteless things that are done, or it's just kind of, there's no type of creativity behind it. It's just, they're more so interested in telling you how much something costs, and they couldn't tell you anything about how it's built or anything like that. So this is really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and like this video, and I'm going to end the video with one thing that I often use, which is music and sound to fall asleep. Some of you may be familiar with the game series Grand Theft Auto by the company Rockstar. It's just kind of an open world video game. But one thing that often gets overlooked in Grand Theft Auto is the sound design or the music creation. And in Grand Theft Auto's games, they often have pause music. And this is actually a song from the pause screen in Grand Theft Auto 5. And I would actually use this to fall to sleep to many nights and thousands of hours of listening to this video. So I'm just going to leave it on this note. If you're somebody who suffers from insomnia, or you just like to have some background music playing in your office, this is a 10-hour looping video, and I think you should go check it out. This is a really useful video and very peaceful to listen to. But anyway, those are all the videos that I collected for you all to share this time. I hope that some of these were interesting. I hope that you're able to go check some of these videos out. And next time it will be a completely different set of videos. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And I hope you all stay safe out there. Have a good one.